He now controls around 20% of Rome's economic output, and that includes the tax flows, the treasury, the gold and silver mines, and revenue from conquered lands. He also has a money method where he rich people from his own empire just to take their stuff.
Yep. Yep. Who is the richest person in history? Let's find out.
With an average salary, wanted Elon Musk's net.
What you? Genghis Khan? Genghis Khan? That's what you going with? Or Alexander the Great? Okay.
Worth, they would have to work for 8 million years. That's 30 times longer than human beings have existed. And in the time it's taken me to tell you this, Elon has made another $100,000. But the craziest thing about Elon is that he's not even the richest person in history. He's actually not even close.
What?
If you look back in time, there are people that make Elon
the mustache man on that list
look broke. So let's go find
that is! It's not what we're here for, Aaron. It's not what
the richest human to ever exist. Starting in the late 80s with a Colombian billionaire who revolutionized the energy supplement industry.
Oh, no.
Pablo Escobar. He was raking in 420.
When Mike, bro, when Mike put it in perspective, boy, I almost started selling hard rugs. That's my goal. I ain't gonna lie. Like, how you get, bro? Hey, he wasn't a good human, but that's my goat. He good enough. That's my goat. No way, he good enough. Epic, bro. Shit.
20 million a week, but his net worth after inflation only reached 80 billion. So on paper, he's not even beating Elon. But unlike everyone else in this video, Pablo's wealth wasn't tied up in stocks or politics. He just had literal dollars. He was spending $1,000 a week on rubber bands just to hold them together.
See, Elon got a lot of stock, a lot of imaginary. He don't have liquid. He had liquid billion. Liquid. Physical.
Damage to them cost him $2 billion a year. So Pablo wasn't the richest person in history overall, but if we're talking actual cash, he probably was. But let's go back in time to see a very different kind of wealth. The year is 1945. World War II just ended, and in America, millions of soldiers are coming home. They'll return to a blue-collar economy, where families can be supported on a single income. The American dream is alive and well.
Right.
How's everyone else doing?
Because ain't nothing happened over here either. That's the crazy part. Nothing but Pearl Harbor. I ain't laugh. You laugh? How you was talking about me earlier? Yeah, horrible human being. Bro, he added the rock sound effect. Yeah, that wasn't necessary.
Well, how's everyone else doing? It's in these ruins where we'll find one of the richest men to ever live.
What?
Joseph Stalin, the
I forgot about Stalin.
communist ruler of the Soviet Union, was uninterested in money. He had practically no personal possessions outside of his pipes, books, and plain military tunic. He did live much better than his citizens, having access to things like food, but he wasn't basking in luxury. His pay stubs show him making today's equivalent of $30K a month, but according to his son, he just let the checks pile up on his desk, and he probably didn't even have a savings account. The reason Stalin is considered one of the richest men in history, despite technically having no money, is because he didn't need money. He already owned the entire state. Doing anything that questioned his power, even something like telling a private joke, would get you gulagged or executed. Stalin had so much control.
So much control that you don't need the physical money is nuts.
That after he had a fatal stroke, no one called a doctor for 12 hours because everyone was too scared of Stalin waking up and punishing them for acting without official orders. So despite being broke on paper, Stalin had complete control over an economy that would today be worth $10 trillion. See, in order to find the richest person in history, we need to think bigger than just money. Every person in this video will represent a different time period and a different form of wealth, whether it be political power or cash or company equity. And in the end, only one will be determined as the richest person in history. So let's move on to
one of the guys are going to be like by knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Our next contender. In 1909, Adolf Hitler was homeless. He had moved to Vienna to pursue his dream of becoming an artist, but things weren't really working out. He got rejected.
Bro, this is crazy. This is nuts.
Hey, bro, to all the colleges telling kids
and denying them, you might be.
Mind.
You know what I'm saying?
It's in mind, twin.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
Rejected from art school and found himself selling small, but things weren't really working out. He got rejected
That was his actual work too, but
Yeah.
you know, wait a minute.
Yeah, his
to
work
Vienna
wasn't
to
bad.
pursue his
His work wasn't bad.
dream of becoming an
His work wasn't bad.
artist.
Fool.
Why he got rejected though? Especially for 1909.
but things weren't really working
Paintings?
out. He
Or draw it? Bro,
got
come
rejected
on,
from
bro.
art school and found himself selling small paintings and postcards just to get by and sleeping in hostels. Then, after fighting in the First World War and beginning his political involvement, he attempted to forcefully overthrow the government, which got him locked up for 9 months. Hopefully he'll use these 9 months to
Hell no.
Mein Kampf.
No.
Upon release in 1925, the Racism Manifesto met with mediocre sales. But as Germany's situation declined, Mein Kampf's popularity grew. And when Hitler took power in 1933,
God, when an idea meets timing. Had they not declined, he would have never. The book probably would have never took off. It's when the idea met the timing.
the book was everywhere. It was also around this time when Hitler realized he had access to developer commands. He instructed the government to buy 6 million copies of his own book and hand them out to soldiers, government officials, and newlyweds. He then avoided a $2 million bill by making himself tax exempt. His next lick was copywriting his own image, which allowed him to collect royalties on every postage stamp sold in Nazi Germany. Then he copyrighted his speeches so he could collect money when they were printed in the news. These passive income streams made Hitler millions.
My God, he was a genius. A wrong kind, but wrong kind of genius. But I respect the hustle, not the actions.
By the end of his life, Mein Kampf had sold around 10 million copies, which actually isn't an insane amount. For reference, he was outsold 3-1 by Anne Frank, but Hitler did have one last side hustle. Between 1933 and 1945, it was estimated that he received over $5 billion in donations from his supporters, most of this coming from wealthy businessmen. It's impressive how much personal money Hitler was able to milk, most of this coming from wealthy
It's probably from another video of his that he talked about
businessmen. It's impressive how much personal money Hitler was able to milk out of his position, but his real wealth came from his military might. At its peak in 1942, Nazi Germany controlled nearly all of Europe, stealing hundreds of billions in resources and putting millions of people into forced labor. So through his conquests, Hitler commanded resources worth $3 trillion in today's dollars. But before dictators, there was a man building a very different type of empire. Henry Ford had a revolution.
That's him.
Y'all driving Ford, that nigga was like, you Mustang loving fuckers are support, man. See,
If you pay them more and let them sleep, your slaves won't revolt. In 1914, Henry made the radical decision to double wages from $2.50 to
Wait. Hold on. What did he say about?
he was his biggest contributor.
That's what he said about.
Yes.
Henry, that's you. Well, you're not mine, but Jesus.
In 1914, Henry made the radical decision to double wages from $2.50 to $5 a day. He then cut the work week from 6 days to 5 days. After seeing the operations of meatpacking plants, Ford organized his workers in a line, an assembly line. What resulted was production time for the Ford Model T dropping from 12 hours to 90 minutes. Prices dropped from $850 to $290. And for 50 years, the Model T was the most sold car in history. But Ford's greatest invention wasn't the assembly line or the Model T. See, after Ford made automobiles accessible to the masses, people began moving outside of cities and driving back and forth to work. And after the success of Ford's mass production methods, they were widely copied by companies and countries. The suburbs, commuting, and the modern work schedule can all be traced back to Henry Ford, which is why many credit him as the inventor of the middle class. So despite his measly $200 billion personal net worth, Ford's massive influence might make him the richest person in history. But Henry's success was only possible thanks to the men who came before him. It's the late 1800s. The telephone, telegraph, and light bulb are currently being invented. Pollution is also. Child labor is legal. Yes! Regulations don't exist. Long hours and unsafe working equipment give employees a healthy work-death balance. The stage is set for maximum capitalism. 3 men would define this era. The OG being Cornelius Vanderbilt, who conquered the
Is Rockefeller one of them?
railroad industry and died with more money than the US Treasury. The next was Andrew Carnegie, who made a fortune with steel, then devoted the rest of his life to philanthropy. And this was during a time before charity tax advantages. He actually meant that shit. But the richest of the 3 was John D. Rockefeller.
Chat, how we get this rich, chat?
You gotta be a little evil. Let's be honest. I think y'all might be right.
Chat,
To be that rich.
we might have to start beating up kids.
In 1870, John founded Standard Oil. He quickly curb-stomped his competitors through innovation and screwing them over, and by
still at the top to this day. To this day.
the 1880s,
Which company is Standard, or is it still called Standard?
Isn't it Mobile now? Mobile or Exxon?
Let me look it up while it's playing.
controlled 90% of America's oil refining. But his empire fell in 1911, when the US Supreme Court declared Standard Oil an illegal monopoly and ordered it to be broken up into 34 new companies. This judicial punishment destroyed Rockefeller's fortune, and he ended up dying in poverty. Just kidding. After the breakup, he had ownership in each of the new companies, and their stock values soared, making him richer than ever before. The antitrust breakup resulted in Rockefeller becoming the world's first billionaire, and at his
So his family, if they still got,
Damn, bro.
if they still got his shares, they got shares in whatever companies have, in multiple. They broke up his. Breaking up his monopoly gave him the ultimate wealth.
peak in 1913, he was worth 2% of the US GDP. Estimates of his personal worth in today's dollars range from 4 to 600 billion, making him potentially the richest person ever. But before the robber barons, there was a family who bankrolled entire empires. The year is 1744. The United States doesn't exist yet. The life expectancy is 30. Cities are full of shit. There's no electricity. In a small Jewish ghetto, Mayor Amschel Rothschild is born.
Oh my god.
Oh, I forgot about them,
Bro, okay, chat. This is a real story. This is a real story. This is a real story. This is also the reason I am terrified of my grandfather.
Okay.
All right. My grandfather, it's a real story, me hearing it from him. I don't know how real it is.
Okay.
Because if you know my grandfather, he's a bit of a liar.
Okay.
A bit is an understatement. However, my grandfather is always in meetings. Am I legally allowed to say this? I should be. Y'all don't know who my grandfather is.
Yeah, he's in meetings with who?
He's always in meetings with I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Rich people in Chinese oil.
Right.
Like really
Allegedly, because you also think he's a liar.
Allegedly.
So
Right?
I mean, you can't say if you think he lied.
yeah. Well, until because I long story short, right? So he's always like in these places, right? And these guys are like billionaires, right?
Oil. That's all you got to say.
Every now and then, my grandfather will call me from this elaborate ass house, right? And I'm like, where are you? And he'll say it, and then half of me is like, this nigga's lying. Ain't no way this nigga is in Ba fucking Sing Say or some shit, right? And these are elaborate ass houses. Grandfather calls me one day. He said, grandson, we gonna be rich. I don't know when, but we gonna be rich. I'm like, all right. He said, I was with these Chinese guys, and we were flying to Nigeria. We were flying private, blah, 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 blah. Ooh, you breaking me the breakdown. He's like, in this airport, I meet blah, 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 Rothschild. I say, huh? He's like, yeah. He's like, man, I meet, and he's like, his name. I say, okay. I'm like, right. at this point, I'm like, yeah, nah, I know you lying. He's like, I went up to him. He was like, he was like, oh, nice to meet you, da da da. He was like, oh, I see you with my friend. He say the other dude name. He say his first name. Mind you, everybody else say this nigga last name. Right. The Asian guy, they all say his last name. He's like, oh, I see you with my friend, da da da. And my grandfather like, yeah, I'm friends with Mr. Da da da. He's one of my business partners. He was like, yeah. Says his first name again. My grandfather say, Aaron, he don't let nobody call him by his first name. Oh. I was like, okay. He was like, yeah. He was like, well, what do you do? He was like, I just broker deals for him, da da da. He was like, oh, that's good, man. He was like, are you doing good? He was like, I'm doing well enough. And my grandfather made a joke to him. He was like, what y'all got? I just want my piece. Let me get my piece. And he was like, all right, I'll let you. His exact words was, I'll let you get that piece. He say, he was like, you do LNG? I was like, what the fuck, LNG? Liquid natural gas. He was like, we closing a deal in somewhere in Africa. My grandfather was like, I'll see what I can do. Da da da. Nigga, the next month I get a call from my grandfather. Grandson, we closing a deal of liquid natural gas and da 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 da. You and your friend need to come work with me. Hell no! Hell no! Why you riding with us on our millions, Aaron? Why you riding with us? Let's you! Let me real! Let me real! Let me real! Bro, cause we gonna go up there, that old man gonna have us. That old nigga gonna have us wiped out, cuz. That old man gonna have us wiped out. Now we gotta sell merch on InternetCity.store just to get our piece, bro. Your wheel about to go crazy, bro. I'm talking. I mean, his wheel, whatever. I'm talking real life, like he like Jesus Christ, man. Bro, because remember I told you he was like, yeah, y'all need to call me this way. I'm like, hell, bro. He can have Canon as a company right now, bro. Hell no, he want a Canon R6 Mark III. He can have a whole damn company if we would have just flew and worked at LNG, nigga. Goddamn. Back to the fucking video, bro.
He starts in business at a young age, working his way up from being a rare coin dealer to a successful banker. Then in the early 1800s, he launches
fuck this nigga, chat, cause when he say you and your friend, he was talking about me. Me. You want me?
Conquest.
Bro, I said no because I care about you. Bro, they about to have us streamed up in the dark room. I'm willing to take that chance.
Sold, I mean, what if were you thinking?
Well, it was worth the shot, wasn't it?
Coin dealer to a successful banker. Then in the early 1800s, he launches a conquest. He sends his 5 sons to the 5 key financial centers of Europe. Every son does their part, and before the invention of the telephone, the Rothschilds have established the first international banking network. They finance wars and people.
Every bank in every country is backed by a Rothschild. Oh my God.
Peacetime recovery, pay for massive projects like the Suez Canal, and give out loans that save countries' economies. But the Rothschilds have one serious problem. For centuries, Jews in Europe had been prohibited from owning land, blocked out of most industries, and at risk of property confiscation or exile. So in order to ensure their survival, the Rothschilds invested in stocks, bonds, and debts, rather than just tangible assets like gold or real estate that could have been taken or destroyed. Another method they used to ensure their wealth stayed within the family, the cousin technique. Through financial tactics and incest, the Rothschilds managed to mostly avoid persecution, but the extent of their wealth today is widely debated. Some estimates have claimed the Rothschilds have a current net worth of $500 trillion. But the only Rothschild you'll find today on the Forbes rich list is Jeff Rothschild. He's worth $3.2 billion. He works at Facebook, and he is not related to the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds no longer have much centralized family wealth, but at their peak, their total worth.
I'm about to explain something to you. The world's richest list, right? Right. All the people on Forbes' richest list,
right?
There are supersets of people who are worth way more than them. Okay.
They just don't want to be on the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people who are on the list, they're on the list because they want to be on the list.
Yeah.
Everybody else
They don't want to be on the list. Yeah.
Yes.
would have been the largest single fortune in history. On an individual level, the richest ever was Nathan Rothschild. According to estimates, his peak net worth today would be around 20 billion, but his power and connections would likely have been worth a lot more. To find our next contender for the richest person in history, let's go back to Europe in the 1500s.
I forgot about them.
Christopher Columbus just got back from America. The church owns everything. And Jacob Fugger is born into a wealthy German family. After inheriting the family business, Jacob starts expanding it from merchant trading to banking. And soon he's handing out massive loans to finance everything from art projects to wars and elections. In 1519, he spent the modern equivalent of hundreds of millions of dollars to get Emperor Charles V elected. But when Charles was slow to pay back his debts, Jacob sent him an angry letter reminding him of his place.
It is well known and clear as day that your imperial majesty could not have claimed the Roman crown without my help.
History repeats itself. Church officials ended up getting in so much debt to Fugger that they started selling heaven passes called indulgences. This
Oh my gosh.
led to a protest, which led to a religious revolution. Fugger had more influence than kings, but he was also a nice guy. He made the first ever social housing complex, and to this day, 150 people still live in these apartments at the cost of $1 a year, as well as 3 required daily prayers for the Fugger family. At his peak, Jacob owned 2% of Europe's GDP, which would be around 400 billion today. But the richest person in history may have been further back in time.
Okay. Oh, so wait, damn. We ain't even, nobody even got close to the other guy. Stop.
In 1320,
Oh Jesus. Never mind.
I forgot about them niggas.
Yeah, they was man.
I forgot about them niggas.
a man went on a pilgrimage across Africa. His name was Mansa Musa, and he was the king of the Mali Empire. Mali had a lot of salt and a lot of gold. A lot of gold. So much gold that on Musa's pilgrimage he covered himself, his 60,000 person entourage, and his hundreds of animals with thousands of pounds of gold. And then he handed out so much of that gold that it destabilized local economies. So he borrowed the gold back, which fixed the problem until he paid all the debts back at once and everything crashed again.
Okay, pay it all back. What?
After Musa's multi-billion-dollar road trip, he began showing up on maps decked out in gold, cementing his reputation in history as the original flexer. But estimating his net worth is borderline impossible, since all accounts of Musa's trek come from second-hand testimony. It's believed that Musa controlled about half of the world's gold supply, and the most common number I found for his total worth was 400 billion, but many numbers went much higher. So based on the amount of valuable resources under his control, Mansa Musa may be the richest person in history. But go back 100 years and there was a man with a very different kind of wealth. In the early 1200s,
Genghis.
I told you. Oh,
Oh, horse egg. Oh, my fault.
Genghis Khan controlled more land.
Let's just forget about this and let's just. I'm changing the subject, nigga. Go to InternetCity.store. Get you some new merch. Designs, they'll be on there for a limited time. Please, InternetCity.store, forget what I said. Matter of fact, I didn't even say nothing.
Than any man in history. His Mongol Empire covered almost 20% of Earth's land area, making his estimated net worth today 130 trillion. But this is slightly misleading. Genghis never really had much wealth of his own, and this was actually vital to his influence. Rather than taking for himself, war loot was redistributed to soldiers and commanders to promote loyalty. Genghis wore the same clothes and ate the same food as his crew. He slept in tents and asked to be buried with no markings or signs. Genghis Khan didn't really have desire for personal wealth or possessions. But based on his control of land, he may have been the richest guy to ever live. But let's go even further back in time, to the year 1 AD. The people alive right now have no idea that they're living through a turning point in history. They actually don't even know what year it is. Romans think that it's year 754. Jews think it's 3761. The Chinese think it's year 9. And for the Greeks, it's 194. Every country is kind of doing their own thing. America's building early cities thanks to the Mayans. India is trading through the ocean and Silk Road. China just invented paper. And in Rome, Augustus Caesar is balling. A few years prior, he defeated Mark Antony and Cleopatra in battle and snatched up Egypt as his personal property.
Isn't Augustus Caesar Julius Caesar's father? Or what's that lineage right there?
You about to find out. Let's find out.
He now controls around 20% of Rome's economic output, and that includes the tax flows, the treasury, the gold and silver mines, and revenue from conquered lands. He also has a money method where he kills rich people from his own empire just to take their stuff.
Caesar.
Yep.
It's Caesar's palace, all right. Hey, buddy, I'm rich. You rich? How you?
What else he got? Damn, I like these.
My
watch.
cock ring too.
Hey, okay, for sure.
After Caesar passes in the year 4,
Hey, Big Putin, we don't want no smoke with
It was him, it wasn't me.
Big Putin, we don't want no smoke
14,
with
he
dog.
officially gets declared a god with an estimated modern-day net worth of $5 trillion. But let's go back another 900 years. Civilization is in its early stages. Most people live
Abraham? Noah? Jesus?
short, difficult lives. Money in the form of coins doesn't yet exist. King Solomon rules over the kingdom of Israel, collecting gold by the ton. His yearly tax revenue is 666 talents of gold. He basks in his riches with his 700 wives, and in today's money, he's worth over $2 trillion. But this is all according to accounts in the Bible, written hundreds of years after he would have lived. When we're this far back in time, details get murky. Written accounts are sparse and incredibly biased. The richest man from ancient times will never really know. So, who is the richest person in history? Looking at this graph, it seems like there's a lot of people who make Elon look broke. But these numbers don't tell the whole story. Hear me out. In 1913, John D. Rockefeller was worth 2% of US GDP. Today, Elon Musk is worth 1.4% of US GDP. So
Elon, we living through another fucking Rockefeller.
Bro. Chad, how we get up there, bro?
Chad. And he helped.
Hey,
he helped
Elon got
Obama.
rich when he was 30,
No,
20.
Like in his 20s, because remember he was part of PayPal.
So
and
we too late.
there's that video.
We too late.
no, you never too late. Don't say that shit, nigga. What's wrong with you?
I'm just saying, bro.
We could be in LNG right now, but you know what I'm saying? Type shit.
Rockefeller
You want to get fucked by
had a larger share of the economy, making his inflation-adjusted net worth higher than Elon's. But here's the catch. The US economy today is 22 times larger than it was in 1913. Rockefeller had a bigger slice of a much smaller pie.
Exactly.
Estimated numbers don't tell the story of how the entire world has become more and more prosperous over time. Elon is now the biggest fish in the biggest pond that has ever.
Okay.
Yo, Elon, take food with your boy. You know I'm full with Tesla. And when you named your son C3PO, I thought that was a cool name, nigga.
Help me understand why it's Elon. Like, Tesla's a big company, but it ain't richest nigga company.
Because he's a part of several things.
What's the other SpaceX, Tesla?
He's part of a lot of shit, bro.
Like, it's gotta be some other shit, and those just be the name. It's gotta like
Those are the names that he's tied to publicly because they're his companies. But he's tied to several companies, bro. That big bank, Elon type. Elon, remember you said you gonna give me 7.8 million? What happened to
he
my...
said that.
Matter of
You
fact,
ain't hold him to that,
bro, I gotta.
Damn.